Greetings everyone. I am Shivani Sharma, the co-founder of Meloquent, the marketing society of Sri Aurobindo College, and your host for today as we begin our journey of learning from the budding minds via a talk show, Melody Demystified. Personal branding is the art of becoming knowable, trustable, and likable. Market it right, and you'll ace it. Today, we have someone with us who is doing something that she's really passionate about. We have with us CA and founder of MSB Vision, Meher Sindhu Batra, who is a highly motivated and passionate professional with about 7 years of experience in management consulting, brand development, digital innovation, business strategy, and consumer plus marketing insights. She has worked at top tier companies such as KPMG and EY, as well as startups in London and India. She thrives on challenging projects to develop growth strategies for businesses. She is a graduate from Imperial College Business School and a chartered accountant from India with an undergraduate degree in commerce from none other than Delhi University. Other than her work, she likes to connect like minded people on anything to do with startups, food, fashion, writing, reading, and traveling. She also mentors young students on how to get a head start in the early years of their careers by sharing insights with them from her own journey. We have with us Shreya Pujari as the moderator for this episode. So, without any further delay, let's start with our very first episode. Over to you, Shreya.
Thank you, Shivani. Ideas are worthless without execution, and execution is pointless without ideas. Greetings to all. Once again, ma'am, I welcome you today and thank you for being a part of this eloquent journey with Team Eloquent. Today, we are primarily focusing on personal branding and marketing, and for the same, we have with us Meher ma'am. Ma'am, let's start with our talk for the evening.
Sounds good. Thank you, Shreya, and thank you, Shivani, for such a warm welcome and such a sweet introduction. It's my honor and pleasure to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the first thing that we all are curious about is your journey from your first job at KPMG to becoming a strategy consultant and a career mentor. What was your path and what challenges you faced, or how was the journey to you?
Sure, Shreya. I think most of you may be knowing that this journey for a CA student is not very easy. So I was a CA student in my early years as a Delhi University undergraduate student also. So I started working at KPMG when I was just 20 years old. You know, I was so excited to be a part of this multinational corporation, ready to hustle hard and do my best and be fully motivated. So those 5 years of working at KPMG were literally, I always say this, they were like my foundation years, and they literally taught me the nitty-gritties of how to communicate with clients, how to present yourself better, how to maintain those relationships, build your network, all of that. And then after I completed my CA, I wanted to do an MBA degree, and that's why I moved to London. And when I did my MBA, I switched my field from finance to strategy and brand management. And that's why during my MBA also, I interned at startups in London, because it was a brand new city, brand new, with new ways of working, culture was different, everything was different. So for me also to pivot my career, as well as establish myself in a new environment was challenging. And so that's why I shifted my focus to strategy and branding. And that's how I got my current job as a strategy consultant. And that's what I do now. And on the side, I started my side hustle, which was like this project to help young kids like you, because I didn't have that kind of support and mentorship when I was, in DU, and I was confused what I should do, what I wanted to do. I had big dreams, but I didn't have anybody to guide me. So basically, it was just a platform to have a community to bring people together and talk about successes and failures. A lot of people don't talk about their failures. I openly talk about my failures, and I want people to be comfortable with talking about what they're struggling with, their stresses, their anxieties, and also like motivate them through my mistakes, through my successes. If I can do it, anybody else can do it too. So that's how it started.
Ma'am, that's really true. Even every day we come across with situations where we have to make choices related to our career, whether it be small choices or big choices. But we know that in the end, they will all lead to that big career that we all are planning about. And ma'am, your page has been such an inspiration. I have been following for so long, and even my fellow team members are being randomly going through your pages, and it is really truly inspirational for us.
Thank you so much, Shreya. That's so nice of you to say.
Ma'am, when did it struck you, or when did you get the idea to start this MSB Vision, and what basically about the same?
Sure. So Shreya, I actually always wanted to do something to help people because I used to get so many messages on LinkedIn. Same type of questions like how did you clear the C exams? How did you get through KPMG? How did you move to London? Why did you choose Imperial for an MBA? And how did you pivot to strategy consulting? So all these students like you, or maybe a little older than you, were asking the same type of questions. So I thought if there's similar questions being asked, I guess this is the generation of digital media, right? Why not use it to actually communicate that same message to more number of people? And I chose YouTube as my first platform because I'm a very visual learner. I love watching videos and learning new things. So that's how I started. It started with like one YouTube video, and I really had to push myself outside my comfort zone to literally sit in front of my phone and record that video. But yeah, the messages that I got, the positive comments and the warmth that I got from the audience members, it just pushed me to keep making more videos, and from one video it's now grown to like it's like my baby now. So I'm literally like I'm watching it grow, and I think it's just been an unbelievably amazing journey, and I feel so fulfilled now that I'm doing this and I'm helping so many people.
Ma'am, that's truly great because sometimes we also tend to just keep things aside, like who will start, we'll do it tomorrow. And things like this, like listening to you telling us about this, are actually giving us an idea because many of us are actually thinking about content creation as a field for side hustle. So that's really motivating to us. Ma'am, how do you
Definitely,
come
I
up
feel
with
more
the?
for
Yes,
it.
ma'am. Ma'am, how do you come up with the updates, or how do you keep yourself updated about what students are currently facing? Which platforms have you seen that have been the most useful in connecting with students of our age?
I think Shreya, every platform, right? Literally, like I'm connecting with students on LinkedIn. I'm connecting with them on Instagram, Facebook, and emails. I'm having one-to-one coaching sessions with my students also. So I think there are so many channels now to connect with your community, with your audience. And to answer your first question is that how do I keep myself updated with what kind of content to create or how to help people? I think it's just listening. You have to engage with the audience. So as a content creator, you can't just keep pushing content that nobody's enjoying, or you have to listen to what people want to see, and then you have to adapt your content accordingly. You can't just think that, oh, I'll live in a bubble and I'll just keep creating stuff and throw it out in the universe when that's not what the audience wants to see, right? So you have to engage continuously. You have to keep having those conversations and seeing what people want to see. So I ask my audience questions so often, like, what do you want to see on my page? What is it that you're struggling with? And I literally try to see that what are the trends that people are struggling with right now. Like, for example, if most people are demotivated during this time at home, lockdown, etc. So I've literally not stopped creating content because I want people to shift their focus from all the negativity to something positive. Like, think about your career, think about what extra can you do with this time, instead of just reading the news or thinking reading the statistics and all. It gets depressing. So I'm trying to keep my audience engaged in other ways. So I think, yeah, you just have to keep adapting to what they need.
Yes, ma'am, your video, ma'am, I just remember it stuck with me. The manifestation video that you did with your husband, it's just with me. I have seen it so like a long time back, but I still keep reminding myself. It is really, really very inspiring to just have a look at people who are literally telling us that you are not confused, you are just in your career path and you are going in the right direction.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong, right? You'll figure
Yes,
it out
ma'am.
when you have to. You just have to keep taking baby steps.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely.
Ma'am, when you started MSB Vision, what challenges you face while marketing it as a personal brand?
To be very honest, Shreya, I think, like you said, a lot of you want to become content creators you want to start it as a side hustle. I think most of us stop ourselves from doing it because we are shy or we are afraid of what people will think, or, I'm not an expert in this field. How can I be talking about this? I think that was my biggest challenge. I didn't tell my friends of most of my family when I started. And for me, not to be able to do that was literally like a marketing block, right? If you're not even telling your close people, then how will the word get out there? So I think my advice to everybody would be, just start being comfortable creating content, talking about it, even if it's not, sharing it with 100 people. Share it with your top 5 people, and then 5 ke baad, move to 10, move to 15. Like that, dheere dheere, you'll start becoming more comfortable with talking about it. And your brand is what you make of it. The more you talk about it, the more people will want to hear from you. So you have to remember that you are marketing yourself, you're marketing your side hustle, you're marketing your business or whatever it is. So you have to do it from day one. That's my biggest advice, because that's something I did not do.
So, ma'am, like you have told us that it is basically the self-doubt that is stopping us. So, was there some key strategy for overcoming that self-doubt that you implied while promoting it? Like when it was a bit, like you got a number of followers, then how you promoted yourself when you were a bit confident that yes, it is going in the right direction?
To be honest with you, Shreya, I think for the first few months, I didn't talk about it as often as I do now. I was pretty much in my shell, and it took me time to, be comfortable with my side hustle, with my identity, what I'm trying to do. So I think for me, it was just like automatic one day. One day I just stopped caring about what people think. And, when you stop caring, the amount of reach, the amount of the type of content you create just becomes so much better, because you literally push yourself outside the box and you don't care anymore. So I think it took me a while, and literally I had my husband used to send the link to all our friends, to all our family members. Please watch her video, please share it, and it was all him. I didn't even do that the first few months. So I think it just happens once you stop caring. It just it's a wonderful world after that.
Ma'am, that's really true, because there are many times that we ourselves stop us from doing something that we are really passionate about just for the sake that what will people think, or like I come up with some idea, what will they think that like aise kuch bhi start kar diya or something like that. So really, I feel that self-doubt is sometimes the biggest challenge that we are facing, even as individuals, to do something that we are passionate about. So,
Yeah.
ma'am, coming to a personal question,
Yeah.
ma'am, what does an ideal productive day looks like in your life?
Oh, wow. Well, see, I'll be very honest. Like, I don't think every day is going to be 100% productive anyway, right? You have to remember life is like this. Like, even on a daily basis, weekly basis, you go through ups and downs. So I think for me, if, okay, let's say I'm having a very productive day, that would mean that by lunchtime, I would have finished all the tasks that I had to. Like, my priority tasks are done, and after that I still use my time to, like you said, you have to, how do I keep myself updated? It's also about reading articles, listening to podcasts, listening to other creators, what are they doing, or engaging with my audience. So for me, that's a productive day. Like, my weekends are all for my side hustle, so I'll have 1 or 2 sessions like this one every week, every weekend. And for me, this is being productive because I'm engaging with my audience, I'm helping you guys in some form or the other. So I think it's about making the most of your time in the morning, or whenever you are the most productive, getting your priority tasks done, and then taking a break, and then focusing on the other things that have been on the back burner that you've been wanting to do, getting them and sorting those out. So for me, a productive day would be, I think, 7 to 8 hours of good work, and then also like relaxing a little bit and reading a book and taking it easy as well.
Ma'am, like you said, like there is this block of when you are not that productive or unproductive in layman terms. Ma'am, what is your solution to come out of that block? Like, what do you do?
I think when I'm feeling unmotivated, demotivated, uninspired, unproductive, I would just say take a break. Like, literally don't do anything, kuch mat karo. just take some time off, go for a walk. Abhi to wo bhi allowed nahi hai, so don't go for a walk. Go to your terrace, have a cup of tea, read a book, watch your favorite movie, favorite TV show, talk to your family, talk to your friends, chill out. I wouldn't say put pressure on yourself to be productive all the time. But yeah, like once you're done not doing anything, you'll want to pick it up again. And then just remind yourself, okay, yeah, I have something to do and I want to do it. I've taken a good break, and then get back to it. I think we can't keep sitting on our study desk and think, oh, I'm studying, when we are not. You have to realize that you're not being productive. Get up, go somewhere else, to another part of your house and relax, and then come back after a good break. And another thing I would really recommend, Shreya, is like the Pomodoro technique, which is basically focused amount of studying or working for like 25 minutes, then taking a break for 5 minutes, then focused again for 25 minutes, then another break. So that really helps you. And then, once you're in the flow, then you can be sitting at a stretch of 2 hours also. But when you're trying to get into the rhythm, short time ke liye karo, and then breaks lete raho, then you'll get into the flow of it.
Ma'am, that's really true, because Pomodoro I myself have implemented while studying or doing some task that is very important and I don't feel like doing it. And that truly actually helps. Like there are many theories that they say, but Pomodoro, even I commit to when I'm doing something. So I'll suggest everyone to keep a note of it wherever they are writing. Use Pomodoro for sure. Ma'am, one thing that actually I was thinking was how was the study and how was the like everything or student body different in India and London where you did your MBA? How was it different?
I think the method of studying in India is very, very different. I'm sure you, as you kids would know, it's very theoretical. It's not like I remember my classes used to get cancelled so many times because professors were on strike, and you'd come to college and then nothing would happen. I guess it's like, I can't even compare it to your experience because you're mostly digital right now, so professors have to take classes. But I just remember like, that whole practical experience I did not get in my undergrad, even in my CA studying, because it was very like theoretical, self-study, padhte raho. Whereas here, I felt like it was more, learning something and then learning how to apply it in the real world. So it was very practical. It was case studies. We had to go for company visits. We had to do projects in like teams of 4 and actually come up with like a business idea or like a marketing plan. And, and these people were from different backgrounds and people from different countries and different cultures. So that whole experience was very engaging. I learned more from my classmates than I did from my professors, because everybody was, from all aspects of life. It was just a whole other way of learning, I felt.
Ma'am, that is true. Even we see that at undergrad level, we are not getting that level of exposure. It is like through these societies and all that we are trying to build something of ourselves. And ma'am, strikes still continue even in online. We are having strikes right now.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So ma'am, how was your experience as a student, and like what do you think would have been different if you have pursued that MBA from India?
I guess, Shreya, I think that depends on your like long-term goals, right? If I wanted to settle down in India, maybe start a business in India, I would have probably done an Indian MBA. But I would still suggest to everybody who wants to do a master's, I would still say, get at least 1 year or 1.5, 2 years of work experience before you do a master's, because your master's is like a specialization in whatever you want to do. And until you actually go out there and do some work, you wouldn't know, bhai, meko specialize kis mein karna hai? I don't know yet. Until you're actually applying what you've learned and then figuring out, okay, I have done an internship in finance or a job in finance, but I'm not interested in finance. I want to do an MBA in marketing. You'll at least be able to understand, okay, I'm not made for finance. I want to do something else. So I would really recommend to anybody who wants to do a master's getting some type of work ex. So I think, yeah, whenever you're deciding an MBA school, figure out, what is your long-term goal? What do you want to do after this master's? And where do you want to live? What kind of companies do you want to work for? Do you want to start your own business? So I think my life would have been drastically different if I would have done an Indian MBA.
Ma'am, that is actually true, because sometimes we are just advised to like jaldi complete your studies so that you are getting a job early. but we
Yeah.
don't we usually forget the thing that we need time to analyze and actually think about what we want to specialize in. So
Exactly.
even I think that taking our time is very important at this particular step. Ma'am, one thing that I have seen through your stories and the things that you post is that one of the biggest thing that you have learned in London is that you have learned a lot of networking and you have made a very strong network there. So, ma'am, how do you suggest, or at undergrad level we start making our own network with people? What do you suggest steps we should take to basically make a network of people, of like-minded people, like you have made a network? What do you suggest to us, or some
Uh,
tips from your side?
yeah, sure, Shreya. I literally wish somebody had told me these things, when I was in college. But I think societies like this, like being a part of such a society, organizing events, as let's say you guys may be the founders or co-founders of this society, you can literally send a message on LinkedIn to people who are 5 to 10 years ahead of you and say, okay, listen, I've founded this society in my university, in my college. And it would be really nice if you can come and give a talk, just how you reached out to me. There'll be so many other people who would be literally ready to help you as the founders of a society. So I think it's not just about networking within your college, but it's also about networking, number one, with alumni from your college, reaching out to people. And most people want to help people from their own university. So reaching out to people who have graduated maybe 3 to 5 years before you, reaching out to people who are, let's say, 10 to 12 years ahead of you also, as an inspiration, asking them for their tips and telling them, I literally admire your career journey. Can you please give me 5 tips? Most people will reply. 10 out of 10, I think maybe 5 to 6 people would reply to your message. And the third would be also share. This is a very good time to network with people from other colleges within DU, right? So there are ISEC. I'm sure there are many more, like forums that have come up, like social platforms where you can reach out to these people. So I think for networking, you have to firstly do like a student body networking. And then if you have some interest, let's say share you're interested in painting or dance or whatever, you can join a class or a society or a group like this, like a club like this, where you talk about your interests, because that's also a good way to network with people who may not be the same in as your profession, but as your vocation. You never know what connection comes out of that. And I would also say, don't network for the sake of it. Okay, I have to know so many people. Networking is not about knowing people. It's about having relationships, like strong relationships with these people. So you have to take out the time to invest in these relationships, like how we invest in our relationships with our parents, with our grandparents, with our siblings. It's the same type of relationships that that need time and nurturing. So similarly, like don't be in a rush to just know a lot of people and adding everyone on LinkedIn or Instagram. It's about building, taking the time to actually getting to know them so that they can help you in the future and you can help them. It's a two-way street.
Yes, ma'am, I totally agree, because many times we do internships or something, and what they offer us is like, we'll increase your LinkedIn followers, just do this internship, promote us. So we are also actually looking for kind of internships that are primarily focusing on our area, which we truly want. But many times there are these internships that just want their promotion. So we usually get stuck there also. So, ma'am, one thing that I would like to know, like you talked about a class of of our vocation. So, what is better, an experience or a certification in a particular field?
I would always say experience, Shreya. Kitni bhi certificates collect kar lo. If you haven't really applied what you've learned, or gone out to the real world and literally had those conversations, worked in an environment, I would just always say experience over certification, over degree also. Literally we're going to move on to this way of living. I guess in India it's just a lot of pressure on collecting a lot of degrees, like you said. Jaldi jaldi khatam karo. We have pressure of getting married, getting settled. All of that is there. It is the harsh reality. Everybody faces that. But I think we will eventually move on to more like experience based learning, and that's how we're going to get, it's going to all transform. How everything is available with a click now. At the comfort of your home, you can learn literally anything. So I would always say, like, just remember that your personality will be developed in the real world. So always give preference to experience more than just getting another certificate.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, even we have seen that there is more respect for people who have higher degrees. degrees rather than people who have more experiences. But we as students, we are also learning this fact that the experience is the key if you want success, even if it is your job or your entrepreneurship project, anything it is. We also truly now have come into a belief that truly we need experience. And ma'am, that's why we are actually connecting with people like you so that we have a better insight about this. Ma'am, coming back to MSB Vision, ma'am, how important do you think with studies or with a job, a side hustle should be there? Like, if even if we are doing like a very educative or a very like theoretical subject, how important do you think a side hustle is for a student or a person who is in a job?
Shreya, I think it's different for different people. Like everybody has different priorities, right? Like if you have 5-6 hours in a day, maybe you want to just spend time with your family in that time, or maybe you want to exercise, get fit. So everybody's priorities are different. I think if you are, like you said, if you're in a theoretical kind of a analytical kind of a job, but you have this creative side to you. You maybe you're a photographer, or you're a dancer, or you are a painter. So in the day-to-day job, it will start encroaching on you. You'll start to feel trapped because you'll be like, okay, no, I have to stay in my job because I'm getting a steady source of income. I'm getting, it's my financial security. But the creative in you will start to literally want to, venture out and do something. So I think a side hustle is a good way to explore what you want and your true interests. And literally you can start it from the comfort of your home, with technology and all. I keep saying, I always say, Shreya, that your 9 to 5 is for your work, for your studying or whatever, and 5 to 9 is for yourself. So 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. should be when you're working on yourself, either when you're learning a new skill, you're doing another course, you're networking with people, or you're working on your side hustle. You're working for your future, right? So 9 to 5 is for today, and 5 to 9 is for the future. So I think literally all of us have the time and the ability and the capacity and the tools available to start literally anything we want today. I think it's all about pushing ourselves a little bit outside of our comfort zone and being motivated. And what happens, when you have this creative outlet, your 9 to 5 will start feeling more interesting, because okay, 9 to 5 I'm going to do my job, and then 5 o'clock is my time, is when I'm going to do what I want to do, literally, like what makes me happy. That's how it started for me. MSB Vision was something I did in the evenings and on weekends. And I think, yeah, side hustles are amazing.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, like, I forgot. Yes, ma'am. But firstly, I would like to ask everyone if they have any queries to please drop in the chat box so that we can take them up. And ma'am, I wanted to ask you, like, what kind of impact has MSB Vision created on your life? Like, though it is very helpful for us, like, but in your life, how that side hustle has actually helped you?
So many ways, Shreya. I was 2 years ago, when I hadn't started the channel and the page, I was sort of not as confident. I think even my confidence has increased over the last 2 years. I have also seen how much of an impact one video has made on people's lives, and that just feels so fulfilling. I can't even tell you, when somebody messages you saying that your 3-minute video has helped them, and they keep sending so much love. It's just another feeling altogether. So I think I've literally felt more, number one, confident, secondly, more grounded and more happy with what I'm doing, and more confident being myself, and thirdly, getting opportunities to talk to people who are doing amazing things in their life. I was invited to give a Josh talk. It was on my bucket list since so long. So getting that honor of being invited for a Josh talk. I had a live session with Ankur Wariku. Tomorrow I'm talking to a girl who's Forbes 30 under 30. She's achieved great things in her life. So just that network that I'm building, I'm talking to amazing humans, people who've done so well in their life. And I think, yeah, it's just, this journey has literally made me more humble as well as more confident, and also be able to connect with amazing people.
Yes, ma'am, that's really true, because I have seen both that Josh talk and even the Ankur Sarwala live, and both of them were like truly inspirational to us. Even I have learned so much just by watching videos and going through contents of people, because there are many things that we come up. Like sometimes there are some courses, some websites that we actually get to know by these content that you and people like you create, and we are really very thankful for that. Ma'am, I think we are almost done with the questions. If someone has any
Wonderful.
other questions, please drop in the chat box. We'll just wait for 2 minutes, ma'am.
Sure, no problem.
Ma'am, meanwhile, people will be dropping in questions. I have one personal question.
Sure.
So, ma'am, since you have your work that you're doing, there's so much work, plus you're doing content creation. So, and you have your own personal life. So, how do you manage so many things? Like, how do you manage that schedule? Because personally, I am really bad at following schedules, so it would really help me.
Shivani, I put everything on my calendar, literally everything. So if I have to have lunch with a friend, it's on my calendar. If I have to shoot a reel, I have it on my calendar. I have to put reminders on my phone, okay, it's Thursdays I'm going to shoot a reel, Sundays I'm going to shoot a YouTube video. So I think just using your phone to organize your life. So, making your to-do list. If you have an event coming up, block it now on your calendar. If you're meeting a friend or talking to a friend, put it on your calendar. I think just be organized about it. And also with content creation, Shivani, what I do is I batch prepare content also. So I get ready once, and then I shoot back to back. Or let's say I'm in a cab or in a car or something. That's the time when I used to reply to messages, reply to comments. So I think it's just about finding the time that you have, the mini breaks that you have to do whatever you want. And also, yeah, just planning your next few weeks in advance always helps. I hope that was
Ma'am,
useful.
yes, ma'am, definitely. Ma'am, there's a question in the chat box. Nikunj asks, how to inspire ourselves at times when we feel very bad or low, like these COVID times that are going on.
That is a difficult one. I think, Nikunj, it's completely okay to feel low and feel bad. I think we don't have to feel pumped up all the time. I keep saying this, you cannot be motivated all the time. You cannot be productive all the time. You cannot be positive all the time. So I would just say, when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, it's okay. Take the time to heal yourself. Take the time to, be okay with feeling sad, feeling low. And also, I think, Nikunj, another way, what I do is, I cut out all the negativity in my life. So if there are people who are bringing me down, I don't talk to them. If there are news channels that are only talking about negativity, I don't follow the news. I'll be very honest. Unless the news comes to me, then I read it, or then I participate in it. But otherwise, I'm not actively reading the news or watching the news. So I think that's what you have to do. You have to control your environment. If there are things that in your life that are toxic, if there are people who are toxic, maintain distance. It's important. Focus on yourself, grow yourself, become a better version of yourself every day. And dheere dheere, those relationships or those people, that negativity will drift apart from you, because you would be a better version of yourself. So just focus on becoming a better version of you. Like, literally do a course, watch a YouTube video, talk to a friend who supports you, who inspires you, who pushes you up. Be surrounded by positive people. And also just watch positive news, watch a positive talk, watch a motivational talk, things that will bring a smile on your face. Watch a funny video, watch Friends, watch Big Bang Theory, things like that will make you smile. Do more of that than things that are, watching Arnab Goswami ki news channel is not going to help you in any way.
Ma'am, I totally agree with you, because I think the first step for healing is accepting that whatever is happening, that is the first step for healing. And okay, ma'am, here are some other questions.
Yeah.
How do we as students start building our own personal network?
I think I talked about this a little bit with Shreya. I would just say that reach out to people in your own batch right now. Are you guys, what year are you? Second year? Are you second year, third year? What are you?
Ma'am, we are mainly first and secondary students.
Okay, so see, you're literally just starting college, right? You're in first or second year. Reach out to people who are in the third year, in their final year, people who have just graduated and just got jobs. Reach out to those people. Make the most of your current college network first. Then second step would be reaching out to other DU schools, networking with someone in Gargi, networking with someone who's in Hindu, who's in Hansraj, building that network. And then again, reaching out to people who may be 5-10 years ahead of you, because it's always good to have someone who's just a little bit senior of you, because you learn the most from them. And also, I think networking is also about, not just your current network. It can also be people who you look up to, your mentors. They can be indirect mentors like Ankur Warikoo, Gary Vee, watching my content. Even if you don't have a one-on-one relationship with these people, you would still learn a lot from their content, from what they're trying to tell you.
Ma'am, one of the co-founders of our society, the other co-founder, Diksha, she has a question. Being a very dedicated person to the society, she asks, how as a society, how do we grow as a society? Like, how can we grow as a marketing society?
I think Diksha, you just have to keep doing things like this. Literally, what you're doing, you're literally on track. I think you can make the most of this time by doing one event maybe every weekend or every 2 weekends. When things open up, things become better. Maybe you can have events where you come face to face with each other. You can have some event which is different. Maybe you do a painting class together or something. Something to bond, or like a team building activity together. So like a meetup. So I think as a society, you just have to make sure you're getting, you're staying engaged with your members, and you're constantly pushing out articles maybe you can share with them on marketing. This is an interesting thing I read in the news, or on LinkedIn, sharing with the members of your society. They can have, and having that conversation continuously. I'm sure you have like a WhatsApp group or something, sharing stuff on there, regularly. Aaj maine ye suna news mein, and this is what's trending, and just sharing that, keeping that active, and having regular events, reaching out to people like me who will come and talk to you guys. I'm sure there's people who would love to share what they've done and help you guys. So I think just keep the momentum going. Use this time to do more rather than less. So you use Google Meet, Zoom, all these platforms which are beneficial for us right now. Make the most of it.
Well, definitely, we are trying to work on some events and bonding activities, as you stated. So we'll try to do more such activities. Ma'am, Ishika asked, what books or sources on personal branding would you recommend for us?
I think there are on personal branding specifically, there is a book called How to Own the Room. It is basically on how you can make an impact in every meeting that you go to, every presentation you give, or like a society event like this. So How to Own the Room is something for on personal branding that I really recommend.
Ma'am, how has this entire COVID situation and lockdown affected marketing, the entire field of marketing?
Honestly, I think marketing as an industry has thrived more than anything else, right? Because marketing is literally making the most of social media, making the most of our phones right now. Honestly, like marketing now has just become mostly digital marketing, and I think that is one industry that has literally thrived right now. I think it's a good it's a good time to be if you're a marketer. It's a good time to be a marketer, because literally there's so much you can do now. You can be cross platforms. You can make the most of, because everybody's on their devices, everybody's sitting at home, everybody's googling different things. So I think as an industry, in my personal opinion, it's done well. It's going good.
Yeah, because everything has like just come at the tip of our fingers. So everything has kind of become easier, but at the same time, it has become difficult if you see the other way.
Definitely,
it's
because
hard to
everybody's doing it, so you need to keep being unique. Your content has to be different. It has to be unique. So you have to continuously keep pushing good quality content on a consistent basis. And I think all brands will say that it's become more challenging. But yeah, they have been able to use different types of platforms to their advantage.
Ma'am, suddenly, like, I had this question. Like, I guess I have noticed that recently there has been a shift for the audience for quality over quantity of content. So, like, do you agree, or what have you observed so far? Because you are working in this field.
I think, Shivani, it's a bit of both. I've seen when I do less number of posts, also people unfollow because they want to see regular content. But having said that, you're right, quality is important because there is a lot of competition. There are 5 other people doing what you're doing, or maybe 50 other people who are doing what you're doing. So I guess it's a bit of both. You have to, I think if you're starting out, let's say you want to start something today, focus more on the quantity more than the quality, because otherwise you'll keep waiting for perfection, and perfection kabhi nahi aayegi, especially in the beginning. You have to push out the content more, you have to do more of it, and then you learn as you go. Like if you see my first YouTube video, compared to my latest YouTube video, there's a drastic difference because I have learned over the years. I've also literally started with one camera phone and, no mic and all that. And I've invested in a camera, I've invested in the lighting, over the years. So that's what you have to do. I think initially focus more on putting the content out, quantity, and then dheere dheere work on your quality.
Ma'am Savi asks how to be on the track again, like regarding in our goals.
As in after you feel demotivated and then coming back on track?
Yeah, I think that is what she means, I think.
I think, okay, she's saying yes. I think if there are times when, you will, like I said, there will be times when you won't be able to achieve everything on your to-do list. I think if your goals have gone a little bit off track, firstly, like revisit your goals every 3 months. I would always say, like, have one long-term goal. Like you guys maybe in first or second year, start thinking about what you would do once you graduate. That's your long-term goal. And if something goes wrong and if you're not able to achieve your goals, revisit them, see if you need to change any of those goals. It's important to keep reflecting on our goals because we keep evolving as a human, as people. Our goals can change. Like what I wanted 4-5 years ago, or maybe even 4 months ago, I may not want today. So it's important to keep reflecting and pivoting your goals according to how you grow as an individual. And if you go off track, remind yourself, like you're doing this for the long run. So abhi agar goal thoda miss ho gaya, it's okay. I'm going to reflect on it again. I'm going to see if I need to change anything. I'm going to find a way to motivate myself, and then I'll come back on track. And if it's not motivating you, if your goal is not motivating you, it's probably not the right goal. Your goal has to be something that you want to work towards. It's not something that someone's pushing you to do or something you're doing just because your friends are doing. Andar se aana hai. Agar andar se nahi aa raha hai, then it's not meant for you. If a goal is there and if you want to do it, you'll do anything and everything to achieve it.
Yes, ma'am, I agree because I think when we'll be going back, once again reviewing our goals and we'll see what all we have achieved so far, I think that should be itself motivating enough to, motivate us to work harder, looking at how much we have come through and, going through our journey
Exactly.
again.
I always say that, Shivani. I always say, make a list of your achievements because we just keep thinking about aur aage kya karna hai. There are already so many things we've done, like make a list of the things you've already achieved because that will be a big motivator to you. Like you've done so much already, so ye bhi ho jayega aage. So be grateful for how far you've already come.
Yes, ma'am. Like I remember, a year back, almost a year back, I had my very first webinar like this. And from that time to now, I was so nervous, and I was still a bit nervous. But yes, I look back and I'm like, I've come way far from that. So reviewing
Right.
at times really helps us.
Exactly. So that at that time you just pushed yourself to do it. कि एक बार कर लूंगी. फिर second time also maybe you literally have to push yourself. And maybe 2 years from now, Shivani, you'll be so comfortable that you won't even think twice. Like for me also, like when I did my first event like this, I was also very nervous. Yeah? But now I'm comfortable because I've practiced so many times. Yeah? I've done it so many times. And secondly, I always say like confidence is a muscle that you build. So you have to work on it. It's not something that everybody is born with. You have to keep pushing yourself and becoming more confident day by day by challenging yourself to do new things and exposing yourself to new environments.
I think, ma'am, what you said just answers Ria's question on how to build up confidence. So I think it answers the question itself. Ma'am, Gauri asks, not everyone gets a job after graduation, so it makes
Yeah.
MBA a good option for everyone. And what should we do about it?
Gauri, I agree that not everybody gets a job or maybe not even a good job after graduation, but I would still not say jump into an MBA just because you want to get it over and done with. I would still say like try to get a job, try to get an internship, even if it's an unpaid internship. I know things are difficult and there's a lot of pressure, but it's in fact, I would say even in college, like during this time, you guys can be doing unpaid internships, volunteering experiences, sitting at home and making the most of this time to add value to your CV, add another thing on your CV, do another course, maybe, if you have extra time, learn a language, if you have extra time, because these things will help make your CV stronger. And once you graduate, you'll be in a better position than someone who did nothing, right? So if you guys are a part of this society, that's already one thing on your CV. So, make the most of this experience, most of this time. I think if you want to do an MBA, there's nothing wrong with it. But my personal suggestion would always be, like at least a year or two before a master's is recommended, because that's when you'll get the most of that out of that program. You learn more if you know, how a company runs, how to work in a team, how to report to a boss. These are the things you learn in a job. And jitni bhi padhai kar lo, wo sab practically seekhne ko milta hai, once you actually are in that environment. So you'll be able to make the most of an MBA. What is an MBA? Master's in Business Administration. But business कैसे run होता है, अगर देखा ही नहीं तो पढ़ाई कैसे करोगे उसके बारे में?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to come in my third year of college now. So I was going through this, how, the entire MBA process and all of that. So for India as well as abroad, so I noticed there is this huge difference wherein in India, it's like he preferred completing all the degrees first and then looking for a job. Whereas for abroad, it's usually they require some work experience for like 2-3 years before MBA, because they think people who are actually working, they'll need it more because they know the experience and they know exactly what they want. So that will be of more use. So I actually prefer that more, because I think it's what we're doing here is just like mugging up things and not really gaining experience. So I think that is a better choice. And I think that also answers Divya's question that can we go for MBA right after graduation? Ma'am, there was this question, how can we make an impact on any work that we do?
Any work that we do, I guess impact is what, you want to make sure that the work that you're doing is of good quality, right? I would just say, like, you have to make an impact, you have to be unforgettable. Your work, your quality of output has to be so good that people remember that's what an impact is. So I think to make an impact, you just have to consistently keep delivering, right? You have to be better than everybody else. You have to remember that, okay, at the end of the event, Shivani and Shreya, they conducted the session very well, so you've made an impact. So what is an impact? Impact is basically when you are going out of your way to perform more than the ordinary. So at a workplace also, you'll have to do that. You'll be able to make an impact, make a mark in whatever specialization you have, whatever is your field of work. You are doing more than the ordinary employee. You are doing more than the ordinary person. That's how you make an impact. I think an impact is all about you consistently delivering quality outputs no matter what you do.
Ma'am, I guess we'll be taking this up as the last question, the last query we have from the participant. How to decide what is best for our career? Savi asked, like, she has a dilemma. She's in a dilemma what career to choose. And I'm adding a bit to the question. There are a lot of aptitude tests that are done. So do you think they're actually useful? Like, I took one when I was in 10th, and like it showed my interest was in engineering or some mechanical work, and here I am in the field of commerce, and also I don't really know if that works or not.
Honestly, Shivani, in my opinion, aptitude tests don't work too much, because even I've taken them and I didn't think they were very accurate. But having said that, I think you'll be able to figure out what you want to do by talking to people who have done different things. So, maybe you're confused कि मैं banking करूँ या मैं marketing करूँ. Talk to people, yeah. Talk to somebody who's in banking, who's an investment banker. Talk to somebody who's a marketer, who's a brand manager. Talk to somebody who's in HR. Figure out what do they do in their daily life. And also, like, I think your early 20s are about trying different things, right? You guys are so young. Do an internship maybe in social media, figure out ye karna hai ya nahi, and I think, like, for me also, I was in KPMG for 5 years, and I was very excited for the first 1.5 years. Okay, I'm in KPMG, I'm in audit, ye wo. After 1.5 years, I realized that audit is not for me, so I just kept picturing myself in the future, and I didn't see myself as an auditor for the rest of my life. So I think in your early 20s are also about crossing out what you don't want to do and then finding what you want to do. So जब तक try नहीं करोगे तब तक पता नहीं चलेगा. So try different things, talk to different people, do one internship, नहीं मजा आया, कुछ नहीं होता, try something else, in another different field, and then धीरे धीरे you'll get the signs, you'll get हाँ मेरे को marketing ज़्यादा पसंद है. So I'm going to do maybe another marketing internship but in another field. So if I'll do maybe a PR strategy instead of social media. So there's going to be different things that you can do in this area of work also. So I try different things until that one thing clicks, and then you'll know कि भाई यही है मेरे लिए.
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you because sometimes if we're confused what we actually want, I think we should start trying to figure out what we don't want and we'll finally arrive at the answer or whatever
Yeah.
is left. So,
Definitely.
ma'am, these were the questions from our participants. Thank you so much for answering. And now we come to the last segment of our session, that is the rapid fire round. So, over to Shreya.
So, ma'am, to add a quirky and fun element to this enlightening session, I would like to introduce the rapid fire round. In this segment of Mellow Demystify, ma'am, you have to answer some of your questions of your personal choices in a very
Yes.
quick manner, like as quickly as possible. So, ma'am, let's commence with it.
Okay, it's Karan Johar has ruined all our lives.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. The first question: what is your favorite cuisine or a food?
Chinese. I love Chinese food.
Ma'am, what is your favorite book?
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Everybody should
Uh,
read it, I think.
Yes, ma'am. Or ma'am, what was the last book that you were reading, or the one you are currently reading?
I am reading 2 books at a time. I always read 2 books. So I'm reading How to Find Fulfilling Work. So it's about people who are feeling trapped in their jobs and they want to do something different.
Ma'am, the next question: if you could have a superpower, what could it be?
I think I would want the superpower of being literally able to transport myself anywhere, because I would go back to India, see my parents, my family, and then come back here.
Ma'am, actually, everyone is actually craving for this right now because we are all at home with the second wave, and we just want to go to college, even though we are not interested in attending classes or anything like that. But we are very motivated to just go around and go to college right now.
College
the
has
next-
literally never been about classes in the first
Never.
place. You
I
being a
think now we're
student,
going
no.
to take it for granted. When college opens up for you guys again, you make the most of that experience. Right? You never take it for granted.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, moving to the next question: are you a summer person or a winter person?
Summer completely. I love beach holidays. I love the beach. I'm completely summer. But having said that, not Delhi summer because it's like 50 degrees. I mean European summer, which is like 25 degrees.
Now the next one: introvert or extrovert or ambivert?
I'm an ambivert. I love people. I thrive on people, but I need my alone time. I need to just sit alone for a bit, even like away from my husband for a couple of hours. We need our own time also. So I'm a little bit of both.
Ma'am, next is: what is your favorite color?
I think it's red.
That's a very bold choice because I haven't seen many people like red color as such, because usually people go for little bit pastels or black and white usually.
Yeah, I used to be pink, but now I feel more confident when I wear red. So I think it's red.
Ma'am, the next one is: which is the one thing that is currently on your bucket list that inspires you to hustle every day? Like that is on your current list, but something related to your career or your vision.
I honestly want to give a TED talk soon, so I'm hoping that happens. That's my bucket list. Yeah.
And ma'am, what about personal life? What bucket list? What thing on your bucket list is for your personal life?
I think for my personal life would just be, travel more. I guess it's difficult for everybody, but yeah, to travel more, try new, visit more countries, experience new things, and yeah, just keep absorbing the environment around me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the next one is really a fun one. So, if a movie was made on your life, what genre would it be, and who would play it?
Who would play it? Oh wow! I would love Priyanka Chopra to play me because I love Priyanka Chopra. I really like her work. But I think it would be, the genre would be, I guess, inspirational, motivation, kind of a struggle story, pursuit of happiness type, the India type maybe.
Ma'am, we are currently pitching this idea, and we'll all be literally watching that movie.
Ma'am, we'll make a petition on change.org to get a movie made of this.
Thank you. No one is saying biopic. Yeah.
Ma'am, the next question is: how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
I think in 3 words, I would say family oriented, although that's 2 words, but family oriented, positive, and motivated. So yeah, 3 words to describe.
Ma'am, the next is, what TV sitcom would you like to be a part of?
I think either Friends or Big Bang Theory. I love both of them.
Ma'am, that is a fan favorite answer because everyone is like, yes, we want Friends, Friends.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the next one that we have is 3 things that you cannot live without.
3 things I cannot live without. Oh my God. Okay. I'm a chai lover. I love chai. So I can't live without chai. I can't live without good food. I'm a big foodie. And I can't live without my phone. So yeah, three materialistic things are.
Ma'am, the next one is, which fashion trend you just not get? Like, what, it is too quirky or too weird for you?
Fashion trend. Oh my God, there's so many, but I don't know if I would ever wear like those tight fitted shorts with a blazer. I just don't know. That's not my.
Ma'am, the next one we have is, which song is a must in your playlist?
I would say I really like this song called "The Good Life" by I'm forgetting the name of the band now. Oh my God! But I think okay, no. Just to answer that question, Coldplay. Any song by Coldplay. I love Coldplay.
Coldplay is one of our favorites also. We usually just stick to Coldplay if you want a good song. Whether it be an old song or a recent one, everyone is just so perfect.
Sorry, Shreya. Sorry to interrupt, but I have another live now at 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay, ma'am. No problem. No problem. So, ma'am, just the last question we'll go with.
Yeah.
What we would like you to give us a life hack, like basic life hack that you would like in terms of career or life. Anything that, like a last note that you would give to our viewers or
I
audience.
would just say, just dream big. There is no limit on your dreams, right? Nobody's going to come and tax you on your dreams. So dream big and don't curb them. Think as big as you can. It's your own little world, right? So why not dream big? So dream big, work hard towards your goals, hustle hard, stay motivated, and push other people up also, like support other people and take help from other people. So I would just say, yeah, these are a few tips from me.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was really a very fun and enlightening session. Ma'am, just the last note, I would like to hand over to Shivani.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This was like one of the it was a really fun session, and it was really amazing to be able to talk to you about all of this. So coming to an end with so much information and insights, we now come to an end for today's episode, and we would really like to thank you, ma'am, for taking out some time and giving us such insights and tips. And it was amazing having you, and it was a great, enlightening, and knowledgeable session. And I hope that you enjoy the session as much as we did. So,
I
the
really
page,
did.
your page, ma'am, your page will be mentioned in the caption. So, if anyone wants to go, please go and check out. The page has great content to go. So, now I would like to thank you once again, ma'am. It was great having you. So, stay
Thank
tuned for the next episode, guys, of Melody Demystified. Till then, take care, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shivani. That was really nice. All the best to everybody. And reach out to me on my Instagram page if you have any other questions. I'm here to help you. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.